The Crit Show contains elements of horror, fantasy violence, and adult language. Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Crit Show, where we are playing the Clockwinders. During their last adventure, our heroes rode the rails from the Dawn Palace to the edge of the Aether Swamps. They found that the rail was obstructed, and they would have to proceed on foot. They ran into a little gnomish fae who wanted to play a game of catching locusts, discovered that it could shapeshift into a fucking crocodile.
Alligator. Nope, it was crocodile.
Nope,
Never
it was
mind.
a crocodile. I was right. How dare you? But they bested it at its contest. It seemed to accept Tass's offering of 3 locusts, and it seems pleased enough.
Yeah, it wasn't playing a game, it was finding lunch.
That was just a helpful, just a handy little extra.
Oh, I see.
It was just a game of catching locusts, and
Two
then it was
things can
like,
be true.
it was like, you know what? These sons of bitches look juicy. And it was famished. You know how fast a crocodile's metabolism goes.
Oh, yeah.
It turned and it turned back, and it was like, oh my God, I feel like I haven't eaten in forever. And that is where we find you right now, Einon down in the muck, looking up at this little guy who is smiling down at you, pleased.
I still have just like a bit of one of the legs of one of the locusts in my hand, and I put it in my mouth and chew. I'm like, yes, well, all right, well done.
It chuckles.
I fall out of the tree that I had climbed up. It's okay. I'm okay. I landed on my books.
Oh, ow.
They broke my fall.
And my spine.
And they're all wet now.
Oh, my goodness. And I go help her up.
Yeah, it's kind of bouncing around, like as you guys come down from the trees, it's following Einon, it's jumping around you all. And it's just saying, fun, fun, fun. Thank you, you played my game.
No, thank you. That was delightful.
For humoring me, I will humor you. I owe you one favor. Would you like to cash it in?
Oh. And I turn slowly to look back at the other two with kind of wide eyes. Yes, we would love that.
May I have the names of my new friends?
Einon Kerning, a pleasure to meet you.
I'm Maxine.
Kade.
Haha, you fools! Now you no longer have names. I've taken them from you. I am a fae. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I was going to say, I only gave you my nickname. Ah!
Haha, well, you can go by it no longer. I'm Kade now. No, my name is Wizine.
That is a very lovely name.
Thank you. It's like cuisine without a C.
It's like the act of peeing.
With a weird emphasis.
Well, we are honored to be owed a favor by you, and I would certainly love a bit of information.
Yes, we're looking for a location here in the swamps that is somewhere that the Clockwinders used to visit a lot.
I am new to the swamp. I do not know the Clockwinders. I've heard the name, but I have not seen them here. Do you know what this place looks like?
Well, if what we've been taught is correct, it very likely could be the place where you came here from? Like the spot where you came from, wherever you came from?
Yes, there may be a fair bit of ether leaking there out of some sort of, apparatus.
I believe I know the place, though I don't remember where precisely it is. I've gotten so lost in the swamp. Good fun.
Still, that could be extremely helpful. Do you know, any landmarks or, different, colorings of the swamp water or, anything like that at all that might tip us off that we're near that area?
There was a large brute in the area, and I remember I passed a town, or more like a village. You should talk to them. I imagine they could point you in the right direction.
That's great. Where's this village?
He turns and, scratches his chin, and you see him scan, like, the entire horizon deeper into the swamps. He points generally in a direction, like, north and night side. I remember coming from over there. If you head in that direction and keep your eyes peeled in the trees, I imagine you'll spot them.
Oh, very good. And, I must know the manner of this brute that you encountered?
8 feet tall, biped, moose head, extra arm, you know.
Oh, yes. All right.
The huge.
Biped, moose head, extra arm sounds like an incantation.
Well, Wizine, I must say it was an absolute pleasure to have a contest with you, and I truly hope that you're able to find more delicious treats around here.
He doffs his cap to all of you. I hope that we may come across each other and play more games in the future.
I truly hope so as well.
Hey, how about another game right now?
Unfortunately, we're in quite a bit of a hurry.
Yes, to get to that hidden place.
Yes, yes.
First one there wins.
Oh, you're on.
He giggles and turns back into a crocodile and kind of submerges under the swamp and starts to swim away. Not, I will point, in the direction he pointed you in. But you also see him, like, consider a left and then consider a right and then decide to go vaguely the direction he pointed you.
What a delightful fellow.
So sad, though. He's never even heard of the Clockwinders.
Well, he has now, dearest, and you are the first face that he saw.
Oh. Well.
What do you guys want to do from here?
I think I try to get my bearings and start making my way in the direction that he indicated. And also, I'm just trying to think about, like, oh, is this marked on the map? Is there a town marked? Am I familiar with it? Have I been in this area? I know I've been around the outskirts of the swamp, but not necessarily super deep inside. So, yeah, trying to gauge if I know this place.
So there's a little bit that I think you would just know. The settlements out here in the swamps aren't, like, not really towns or even, like, villages. They're almost like series of tree houses or, you know, just like temporary loose structures that are built like in the branches or maybe along the roots if it's dry enough. So they're not the kind of places that usually like have a town name. You know, like you wouldn't be like, oh, this on the map is called this and here's the way to get there. Because they're also sort of transient. Like if conditions changed in one place, people just fuck off from that place and move on to a different one.
Makes sense.
I think that is what you'd know just from being an adventuring scholar, regardless of how deep you've been in here or what specifically you've interacted with. If you want to know more, I think you could make a lore roll to see if you have studied any further on this topic.
Yeah, might as well give it a try.
Okay, so let's do an overcome with lore, and it's getting this is kind of nitty-gritty about this place, so I think we're going to try to beat a 4.
Ooh, okay.
While he's doing that, the advantages that we made during the contest, those are gone, right?
Yes, like the circumstances, the truths that were established by them are either no longer true or no longer relevant.
Yeah.
Like if we had established a truth that was something permanent, you know, if you created an aspect on a place that was like unstable walls and then you left that place, like that aspect would persist because it's just true of that place now. The walls are unstable. Next time you come back, that'll still be true. But if you toppled the building, wouldn't be true anymore, right? There were no walls. The locusts were like routed. You had a higher vantage point to see them. They were whatever other word I used to describe them being all up in a tizzy. But like the locusts are gone now. You guys aren't in that position. Like that aspect is no longer truth.
Okay, but if we meet Wizing again, Wizine.
Like cuisine without a C.
Oh, right. But if we meet if we meet Wizine again, he's still a troublesome fae.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
And he's still hot-headed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
I mean, presumably. Not necessarily. Like, you know, your aspects can change narratively.
Sure.
If the next time you see Wazine, he's gone to anger management and really, like, worked through some of his shit, he might not be hot-headed anymore.
I'm going to roll something.
Okay, yeah, please. Who are you? What are you doing?
Are those dice?
That's a 5.
5 whats? Okay. That is a success. So you get what you want. You know that there's a preferred species of tree that these tend to be built in and around that have nice arcing roots that hold themselves up above the marshy ground and like the wetlands part of the swamp. the canopies grow pretty thick, so if they want to put something up there, like there's the structure to do so. And like great banyan trees, like their roots extend a substantial distance. And because of the way they arc, like they are even visible from above ground. So if you can find one of these root structures somewhere and just follow it, you're very likely to get to one of these settlements.
Outstanding. Yeah, I start leading the way again and just making sure to say to them, try to follow where I put my feet, looking for anything rocky, anything rooty. I've got an idea of what we're looking for as we make our way, and hopefully we find the settlement.
Yeah, I'll follow his lead.
Yeah.
Okay. It is getting fairly late in the day. Again, although the sun is not changing, but as far as like hands on a clock go, it's getting towards like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Do you all want to like turn in to camp at any point or power through for now?
I would suggest that we push for like another hour, like more like 11-ish. And if I don't spot any of those root structures yet, that we go ahead and keep an eye out for a better place to camp.
I don't know any better, so I will listen to him.
Yeah, he's really in his element right now, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to listen to whatever he says.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm often like walking up to a tree and like listening to it and turning to them and giving them like a solid nod, or just stopping suddenly and putting my hand up and just waiting for like a 20 count and then moving us on again, just because it's funny for me.
They're making cookies in this one.
We have to destroy it. Okay. Why don't you roll to overcome with investigate?
Okay, I will.
And considering like the degree of detail you got here, like knowing exactly what you're looking for, it's not that they're hidden or anything. So I think this is just going to be a fair difficulty, a 2.
Okay. All right. I'm rolling with my investigate, which is a +2, and that brings me to a 5.
Okay. You succeed and you gain a boost. So after another hour's walk or so, you do find one of these winding roots poking up out of the swamp, and you are able to track it a short distance and find where it comes up again, and then a short distance more where it comes up again, and you are able to hone in on the path. This is the direction that this root is leading back towards its tree.
All right. And would I still assume that that means that I still have a trek ahead, like to, it could be right around the bend, it could be half a day's walk, like I don't really know that, right?
Correct. It could be miles still.
Sure. All right. I think I've found what we need, but let's not chance it, especially let's not try to wander into someone's settlement while they're, functionally trying to rest, I assume. So let's hole up here and start fresh.
All right.
Just like in the swamp water?
Oh, yes. I mean, no, I've got a tent.
To put in the water?
Well, yeah, we'll get up here on the roots and such. We'll spread it out and,
Oh,
there's a little bit of solid ground. Well, not solid exactly.
right. Of course. That makes sense.
There are also plenty of other types of trees that are around, like if you wanted to utilize any of those in any other capacity. Like, I don't want to paint the picture that it's just nothing, fog, giant tree. Like,
Sure.
there is plenty of swampy vegetation out here.
Yeah. Yes, I could set up a hammock for one of you if you like, and whatever works best.
Yeah, I imagine hammocks are a really good, useful thing in this world of just oh, time to take that power nap. Here's 2 trees, or here's the balcony over a patio. Let me just hook this up here and take a little nap.
Yeah.
Darling, there's someone napping on our patio again. So, when you've been traveling by yourself, obviously you can't, keep a watch, but do you set up something to let you know if someone's getting close? Or you just hope your instincts kick in and wake you up?
Oh, yes, I wake up quite easily, so it's not much of a problem for me most of the time. But yes, I mean, I take a certain degree of precautions depending on where I am. In the swamp, it's much more difficult for anything to sneak up. Besides, well, there's a few things, of course, that can. Sloshing water wakes me up fairly immediately.
All right, what's the plan for the night then? What's each of you doing?
I've got my hammock set up with a bug net over the top, and I've just got my books that I'm trying to read and refresh, stay up on all the information that I have, try to keep it top of mind until I can't keep my eyes open, and then I go to sleep.
Yeah, I will kind of watching around for a while, and then I just kind of prop myself up on Smee.
I will, just cozy up to a tree and lean back and have my hat tipped down over my eyes and, set myself on my kind of sleep alert mode.
Okay. Each of you turns in for the night and drifts off to sleep. Why don't each of you give me a notice roll?
That's a 4.
5.
Also 5.
Einon and Kade. At one point in the night, the two of you wake. And there's nothing upon you, just a sensation that you're being observed.
I think waking up like that, it's just reaction that my bow is in my hand and, springs open. And I just look around the area to see if I can spot eyes or hear anything.
When I wake up and I see him, looking around, hey, you looking at me?
I am not, but something is.
Oh, yeah, and I'll look around as well.
Okay. Kade, you notice what's out of place, right?
I do.
That is simply true about you. As you kind of scan the area, again, it's not dark, just foggy and hazy, but there's still the same amount of light as always. You're seeing the silhouettes of the trees and the weeds growing up out of the swamp. You know that there's wildlife out here, but among some of these scattered branches overhead in the distance, you spot silhouettes of animals that you would not expect to see here or in trees. You see a silhouette of antlers near the silhouette of a beak, what looks like a bird's head. And as you look in that direction, those things flee elsewhere into the canopy and disappear from view.
Hey, Maxine, get up. I throw some water at her.
Huh, what? Ants!
So once Maxine wakes up from her ad-induced dreams, to her and to Einon, there was I don't know if it was a person or persons up in that tree, but a bird head and antlers and maybe a trunk. It was some kind of amalgam of a creature, but it was up in the canopy of the tree.
Would I know anything that does that in the supernatural world? That either animals that act oddly or something that takes their forms in places that don't match up?
Why don't you roll to create an advantage with lore?
Okay. Would this count for my stunt, Arcane Expert? Gain a +2 bonus to create an advantage using lore whenever the situation has specifically to do with the supernatural.
Unfortunately, I think it's a bit of information in and of itself when I tell you no, that does not apply.
Ah, okay.
So there you go. You get that one on the free skis.
Cool.
And now roll, and I think you're trying to beat a 3 here.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to call it a 2.
Okay. That is a 6.
Okay. You succeed with style. This doesn't sound like a supernatural phenomenon to you. Granted, there are creatures that shapeshift and adopt the forms of other things. You saw Wazine do it. But from what Kade explains, it sounds like multiple forms which are different. And I think the thought that occurs to you is huntsmen will use parts of animals in their attire for camouflage or to create fear or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I think that you recall hearing of a group of hunters who occupy the Aether Swamps that people call the Wilders. They are people who have completely divorced themselves from civilization. They exist out here in the wild, subsist on their own, but they will take of whomever or whatever crosses their path.
Intriguing. So, what was it you said? Something bird-like, something with antlers?
Yeah.
All right. Educated guess, we're dealing with the Wilders.
Oh, I've heard of them. Some merchants that my parents know have tried to trade with them in the past, and very few have been successful.
Yes, they sort of, do what they want.
Kind of keep to themselves, right?
Yes.
Keep to themselves and do what they want. Could I get a little more on both of those things?
The do what they want might come in the form of robbing us or leaving us alone or coming along to say, hello, gents, what would you like to trade? literally what they want. Keeping to themselves, I would guess they are likely not the denizens of the settlement that we're looking for.
They live off the land.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just mean they don't tend to travel to trading posts and aren't particularly keen on people bringing in stuff from outside because they don't really have a need of it.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, they live off the land. This slowly corrupted land.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Well, they're certainly aware of us.
So is there, like, something we can set out for them so they pass us by?
I just stand up and take a few steps away from the tree where I was kind of hunkered down, and I yell out to the swamps, "We mean no harm. We're not here to encroach on your hunting grounds or lands in any form. We've got our own supplies, meager food to get us through, and that's about all."
Yes, we're Clockwinders.
Yes,
We're here to help.
that is also true.
What exactly are you going for here? Mechanically, I'm trying to decide whether this is an overcome or create an advantage.
Oh, I mean, I really am just trying to put them at ease. It is clear to me that if they wanted to try something, that they could have done so, and they didn't. So I'm literally just trying to lay it out and put them at ease and not, stir up any worry or trouble with them.
I'm leaning more towards overcome. You're not trying to, create something to use against them
No.
later.
Yeah, no.
You're just, okay. Let's do an overcome with rapport.
Okay.
I do think this is going to be fairly difficult. I think you're going for a 4.
Okay. That was a flat roll, and I have a 3 in rapport. Oh, God. And I would love to spend a point here to, really step out into, a bit of light streaming down between the trees so that they can see my, worn gear, my, meager stuff that I'm not, traveling fancy or trying to come through and sell anything or take anything from everyone else. I want them to see that I am this adventuring scholar that's not, out here poaching or anything else.
And 16 seconds of explanation. Okay. Go ahead and spin that fate point.
Okay.
Actually threw the coin out with attitude.
Yeah.
All right, that will get you to a success. There's not really any strong evidence that, your words have carried weight, but that you don't see them anymore. They do not reemerge. You do not hear the sound of anybody advancing upon you. It seems like what you've said has kept them off your case.
Okay. I kind of let that settle for a moment in the quiet and then polish it off with I particularly like the antlers. That sounds cool. Birds are pretty neat, though. They're really cool, though, so, yeah.
I think that we should maybe pack up and continue on our way now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair, and I think by now, if they had meant any ill intent, they would have acted on it, so I think we're all right as long as we keep moving.
I don't like this.
Oh, well, I don't love it myself, but it could have been far worse.
Okay, you want to sneak up on me and, rob me? Why you gotta fucking wear a deer's head while you do it?
Kade, they didn't know we were Clockwinders. I'm sure it's fine now.
Yes, and I mean, what you're feeling right now, this unease, is what they are trying to instill in people that do mean them harm and do mean to harm the land. So, I mean, it's working.
Do I mean to harm the land?
No.
Oh.
No, but there are others that come through here, and they do. They
I see.
poach
when you said it was working, I was like,
No,
oh God, have I got
no,
some hidden agenda I didn't even know I had?
No, their intimidation is working. Even I've been out, and that's fucking creepy, man. Don't like that at all.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything, so.
One of them was wearing a beak.
Are you sure it wasn't just a bird?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Good sleep, everyone.
As you guys chat and pack up your camp, you can tell that it is the wee hours of the morning. It would be approaching dawn, were that a thing that happened here.
That's a Twilight movie, right?
Approaching Dawn is
Yeah.
the behind-the-scenes documentary about the film.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But you guys get moving again following this route. I don't think that there's any further roll necessary for that. You've located it. You're literally just following it along the ground.
And I think as we're walking, Kade is still having this conversation. He's like, no, if it was Fae, if it was something unusual, that'd be a whole different story. But it's just normal people but they're all like, oh, I kill this thing and put its head on my body and try to freak you out. That's fucked up.
Well, you don't know that it was actually antlers that belonged to something with antlers. Maybe they just used branches and fashioned them to look like antlers. Or maybe it wasn't actually a beak. Maybe it was just some pieces of wood that they carved to look like a beak. So from a distance and in silhouette, you thought it was antlers.
If it was fake, like, does that make you feel better?
Well, I'm just saying that the part that you said is really messed up may not be factual at all.
That's true. It may not be factual at all.
I start fashioning myself some antlers.
I'll show you guys. You'll see how unsettling it is.
For all we know, we'll meet them and be very impressed with their skills at paper mache.
Oh, no, that would never survive out here. It's
Yeah.
far too damp.
Way too damp.
Yes, I hadn't thought about that.
That, what would you use to, like, make it?
Yes, they don't get newspaper out here, do they?
Swamp water and the pulp of the reeds or whatever.
I thought you were coming up with the name of their newspaper.
Swamp Water,
Swamp Water Times.
Swamp Water Daily Times.
You guys pass the next hour bickering and haranguing each other until your line of sight breaks through some of the vegetation and you can see that there is a bit of a clearing underneath this one enormous tree. You can see that the route you've been following leads up to it. Its canopy expands out a substantial distance overhead. And you can see that where the roots kind of snake up towards the trunk and create a little bit more above the waterline ground, there are some shacks and buildings kind of built on stilts or on the roots, spread out around the base of this tree.
Fuck me. I think I might have been here. Can I use a stunt?
Yes, what does it do?
It's called A Friend in Every Port. Whenever you enter a settlement, you may declare that you visited it before and roll contacts against fair opposition. If you succeed, you have a friend here that owes you one favor, nothing costly or life-threatening. And if you succeed with style, your friend will do any one thing for you that is within their power.
Okay. What's this place called?
So this is just kind of a big, massive tree, right?
Yep. How do you refer to it? Because again, a lot of them don't really have like a town name, so to speak.
Oh, sure.
So what did you know it as?
I knew it as Willowdale.
Also, huge props for pronouncing visited it so quickly and accurately. I am incredibly impressed. I would not have been able to do the same.
Thank you.
Yeah, he got them all out in the session 0.
Yeah. God.
Go ahead and make your contacts roll.
Okay. I don't think I've rolled this yet. I'm rolling with a +3. And that is a 5 with my +3.
So that is a success with style.
All right.
What does that get you?
That I do have a friend here, and they will do any one thing for me that is within their power.
Who's the friend?
It's this very small gentleman, very short fellow named Selwyn, that is a little obsessed with magic himself, and I think I've learned a lot from him. Some of the lore that I know about Aether and the Fae and so on.
And why is Selwyn here? Like, is he someone who long ago renounced the cities and has taken up residence here? Was he born and raised here? Is he sort of a pass-through who's stuck around for a while?
I think he's originally from like a major city, but was very interested in just staying out in nature and learning about the effects of magic and magical folk. And so he rarely ever comes back to any civilization. And he's really enjoyed the swamp and the things that you can find here.
Okay. I think as you all approach this settlement on foot, some people are out and about. It's still pretty early, so not a lot. And you do start to catch some glances from a distance. People clearly don't expect people to just be walking up here. But before anybody, raises an alarm or anything, you hear a voice call out from somewhere up above. I say, Einon, old chap, is that you?
Fuck me, I thought you might be here.
And you look up and see on one of the, balconies in some of the lower branches of the tree, Selwyn, looking down at you and waving in your direction.
Well, this is untenable, sir. Either I need to come up there or you need to come down here, because I can't hug you at this distance, can I?
He lets out a boisterous laugh. and you see him walk a little ways down this balcony and step onto a platform off its edge that is connected to a vine that wraps up and over a branch, and it is just counterweighted to lower him down to ground level. And he steps off, and it starts to raise itself back up, and he starts to walk in your direction.
Well, that's lovely, isn't it? And I'll strut up, give him a big hug.
He returns it, and he holds you at arm's length and looks you over. Einon, my friend, what are you doing here? And who are your friends?
I step forward and hold out my hand. Maxine, Hollis, nice to meet you.
Arkady Atwater.
He holds out his hand to shake each of yours in turn. Selwyn Cortland, the most valuable asset that your friend Einon has ever made in his life. Pleasure to meet you.
That may actually be true. That's accurate.
Well, wonderful to meet you as well. We're official Clockwinders, and we're here to fix the movement core. Do you happen to know where it is?
Here? No, there's no movement core here.
Well, no, not in Willowdale, of course, but in the swamps there is one, and, well, I think we may be able to find it with several days, weeks, whatever it might be of searching, but listen, it would really help us quite a bit if you knew anyone, if you had any resources that might get us there more directly.
Yeah, there was a crocodile. He told us he saw this little settlement on his way out of the place where the movement core was.
A crocodile?
Well, a fae who could turn into a crocodile.
He was sometimes a crocodile.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if the swamp gases were getting to you, but that one I can believe.
Swamp gases?
Yes. Oh, no, it's not nearly as dreadful as it sounds. Don't worry about it. If you haven't felt it so far, you'll probably feel nothing at all.
They look over and my eyes are purple.
Well, I can't say that I particularly know the place you're speaking of, but I think it's quite likely that someone here does. We should probably speak to one of the elders of the village. Come with me.
But of course, and I'll follow.
He leads you back towards the tree, and he is doing, like, hellos and good days to the other people that are out and about. And with him at the lead, they seem to have warmed up to all of you. A little apprehensive still, but they are at least, like, giving polite nods of acknowledgement as you go by.
How are they reacting to Smee?
It's a mix. Some people are looking at Smee like they're trying to figure out what kind of animal it is. But some people, it seems like they've seen clockworks before. You get the impression that some of the other people here are also transplants from the urban world.
Nice.
Selwyn leads you up the tree. There are series of, like, ramps and gangplanks that seem to be created from fallen branches or from the living existing branches, handrails made of the vines, ladders. He's bringing you up higher into the canopy, and as you go, it seems like it gets kind of more bougie the higher up it gets. Like, the better status you have here, then the better view you get, kind of. And he leads you up to one particularly large structure. It is a little bit more ornate than everything else you've seen. You know, everything else you've seen is just kind of scraps thrown together. This is still made entirely of, like, sticks and vines and leaves, but there's a little bit of, like, a design to it, some kind of softer angles and curved faces on this building. It looks like it's about triple the size of any of, like, the residences you've passed on the way up, and he leads you inside. And inside you can see that this appears to be some sort of, like, town hall. There is a big old table in the middle of this giant room that has seats around it. There are other chairs scattered throughout as if people could, like, gather here to participate in whatever happens at this middle table. But right at the moment, there is only one individual sitting at this table. It is an old woman. She is a little bit stooped. She is very wrinkled. She looks kind of frail, but her eyes would lead you to believe otherwise. As she is poring over this scroll in front of her and writing, there is, like, a fierceness and an awareness in her eyes that immediately reads. But she looks up, and her gaze is kind and soft. And she looks at Selwyn and smiles and looks beyond him at all of you. "I didn't know that we were expecting guests today, Selwyn." And he says, "Nor did I, but an old friend has stopped in with some new friends of his own, and I figured they could use your help." She puts her hands on the table to steady herself as she stands kind of slowly, and she grabs a short walking stick that was leaning against the seat next to her and starts to head over in your direction. "Help you need out here in the swamps, eh?"
Oh, well, some direction. Hello, ma'am. I'm Maxine, Hollis, official Clockwinder, and we're on our way to fix the movement core located here in the Aether Swamps. And if we were lost, and obviously we're not lost because we're official Clockwinders, so we know where we're going, but say we got turned around a little bit and maybe the path isn't as clear as it used to be. You live here, so you would have a better idea of where we might go to look for it. So, yes, help.
We've got a circle on a map.
It's a big circle.
And a crocodile, Faye, who said he saw this place when he came across from wherever he originated from.
Ah, that cherubic little fellow with the red hat.
Yes.
Didn't catch his name.
What was that, Kade?
Wizine.
That was correct. Please leave the entire pause in there so that everybody knows.
I think that's the first time I've ever gotten one right after a pause.
Yes, we did see him. He bounced through here, wreaked a little bit of havoc, stole some of our food, ate somebody's pet bird,
Oh, my goodness.
and then fucked off.
He ate a bunch of locusts.
Damn, he loves things with wings. She also holds out a hand to shake each of yours. My name is Ebba Tefera. I am, unfortunately, what you would call an elder here. I'd be happy to help you all, dig up what information I can and point you in the right direction. Would I be able to ask a favor of you first?
Well, that seems fair.
We've been having trouble with some interlopers coming in and nicking some of our goods. It's putting a bit of a strain on the people who live here. If you could recover those goods, or at least make sure that it's not going to happen again, that would really ease our woes.
Halfway through that sentence, I'm already slowly turning to look at Einon.
Jaw is set, eyes forward at Ebba.
Sweat.
Have any of you gotten a look at whoever's doing this?
Well, not a clear one, and they obstruct their true visage anyway.
With, animalistic costumes?
Yes, you're familiar with the Wilders.
Yes, we had a bit of a run-in with them last night, actually.
I mean, that's just weird, right?
I find it hella unsettling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No one disagrees that they're unsettling. I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah, I believe that is the point.
Yeah.
And it was certainly enough to discourage any of our people from chasing after them. Well, that and the weapons and just how deftly they move.
Yeah, that's because they're all hunters.
Yes.
They're out here making like some kind of apex predator because it's a bunch of hunters that live together. And then they got to have kids because they've been here a while. And so then they just have a hunter kid and they're just breeding the apex predator.
Oh, that's very good, Kade.
Is it?
Yes. But they've had some of their people coming here to steal when they should be these apex predators out hunting the land. Maybe we can shame them a bit.
Well, you said they kind of just do whatever to get what they need. I guess stealing could be a lot easier than hunting something down.
Yes.
But if that's the point we make, oh, you're doing the easy thing instead of hunting.
Exactly. Maybe we instill a bit of pride into their work and have them leave you alone through that.
A little bit of mind game. It only seems fair. They're trying them.
Or maybe we have everybody here wear bigger antlers and have a bigger beak.
I've already begun fashioning a set for Smee. It doesn't look frightening.
He's too orbular.
Yeah.
Well, if it comes to
Yeah.
a fight, we'll take some of their antlers.
She laughs.
Unconnected to anything. And you can tell the swamp gas is getting to her.
She laughs, and you look up and find that she's on the other side of the room, staring at a wall.
Staring at the wall saying, "Thank you for taking care of our problem."
She's poking at a deer head mounted on the wall and saying, "You damn Wilders taking our food." She laughs, and she says, "I admire your spunk, all of you, and I don't particularly care how you try to take care of it. Shame them, rob them back, whatever, as long as it gets the point across that they shouldn't trifle with us any further."
Well, hell, I'm certainly in. It's the least we could do.
Yeah, I guess.
I was hoping it was just going to be more like sorting some things for you, but this is fair. We can do this.
Well, of course you can. You're Clockwinders, right? Adventure is in your blood.
Exactly.
If we want to get technical, I don't think diplomacy generally was one of the things, but it's neither here nor there. Still happy to do it.
I didn't say shit about diplomacy, that's all. Whatever, man. Go fuck them up. I don't give a shit.
Skin 'em, wear 'em. Don't fucking care at all.
See how they like it.
Well, unfortunately, I can't quite point you in their direction. They're quite nomadic, you see. They move around quite a bit and don't hold a consistent camp. I'm not sure what your best path will be to finding them.
Well, maybe we don't have to find them. I mean, last time, they found us just fine.
Oh, and if they're coming in here and robbing, we could set up a sting.
I like that. Trap hunting is the best kind of hunting for a predator.
It was a question mark there that got me.
Yeah, you didn't seem too convinced of that statement.
Well, not all predators, but these predators already seem to be okay with us, and so I don't think would bother us if we ventured out, which is not good. We do want them to bother us so we know where they are. So we would have to hunt a predator on their own turf, which I'm not confident in. But trap hunting, yes, we know what they want. We know that they are willing to do it. It's just a matter of setting up something that seems like an easy target and being ready to follow them after they enact their little theft, yes?
Oh, you want to let them actually claim goods and make off with them?
Or we, capture them and take a message back.
Or, yeah, they left us alone last time because, you talked to them, but they also couldn't see that we had anything worth stealing. So maybe if we go out and camp again and leave some stuff out that looks like it's worth stealing, they could think that they got the drop on us. We pretend to sleep.
Yes, I rather like either of those. I say we roll the dice. We could go either way.
Look, let's just go talk to them. Maybe this is as simple as saying, hey, please don't do this anymore. Or, please don't do this anymore, and you'll get this out of it. Or this will happen. I don't know what they really will respond to, but at least we should try to find out.
Yeah, just to have it in our back pockets. Let's say that this group that's stealing from you, they're a bunch of great hunters. They start hunting, they get a bunch more meat, and they come to trade some of that meat for other stuff. Do you got stuff to trade?
Yes, sure, we'd be fine with trading with them in a non-lopsided encounter.
Yeah, I imagine because I assume what they're probably stealing is stuff that they can't hunt.
They stole produce and baskets.
Yeah.
We make real motherfucking baskets here.
Yeah, all hunters, no gatherers.
Well, that's great. That's plenty to work with. Let's start there.
All right. In that case, I hate to say it, I think there may need to be a bit more investment on your part because, to a degree, they seem to be leaving us alone, and I don't think us wandering out into the swamps and just yelling for them is going to get us anything. So we may need a bit of a honeypot to get them close. And I put a hand on Selwyn's shoulder. Do you think...
Me? Mike?
No.
You've got honeypot written all over you.
Honey on me?
No, that's not...
Nude.
No. Not
sticky.
In this situation. That's not...
We said we were never going to speak
we
of that
promised
again.
we wouldn't tell.
I'm in.
You violated our oath.
You've said everything so far. This is all your fault.
I can't get it out of my head.
I've been thinking about you since the day you left.
My little bear.
Aw.
I'm sorry, go on.
What I was getting at...
Goods.
Yes.
Which goods do you think they'd be more interested in? And he poses one where he's highlighting his chest, and then he turns and poses one where he's highlighting his butt.
Do you have wheat?
I'm going to be honest, I don't know what that one means, but I'm interested.
It's just wheat.
Oh.
Just fucking barley or something.
Yes, of course, you can take of my stores. I'm happy to contribute to the cause.
Thank you. I think that would give us something to draw their attention again and give us our opportunity.
Very good. Do you expect that you'll try to undertake this tonight?
Yes, I should think so.
Wonderful. Well then, come with me. We can gather goods. We can hash out the details of this plan. I'll treat you all to a meal today. And then this evening, you may set out.
Oh, I'd love a meal. I left so many rations back home to fit books into my bag.
I think that is where we will end it this time. So, thank you all for joining us again for the Clockwinders.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Come on.
I'm so excited.
Did you have something you want to contribute?
No.
What comes next? I don't remember.
Tass, you need a much quieter clipboard.
I know.
It's so loud.
Listen, if you like the setting, check the show notes.
Check the show notes for the game and the setting. If you want to hear more of not this, but things in a similar milieu, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/theCritShow.
Ooh, good word.
Thank you. We're just full of good words, full of $5 words this week. But if you... Jesus God. If you contribute to the Patreon, you can get your name read out on the show.
If we get enough donations, we're going to get Tass a new clipboard. One that doesn't have a metal tab on it.
This week it is Patrick M. Rabel. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And tune in next time for more Clockwinder adventures. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Crit Show is a Critshow Studios production, edited and produced by Brandon Wentz, with music by Jake Purley. You can find more information about us at thecritshowpodcast.com. To keep up to date with upcoming live shows, contests, and other special events, follow us at The Crit Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For even more weekly content, join us at patreon.com/thecritshow.